Hi guys, my name is Elise and welcome back to another week with the Foundry Kids and welcome to the first week of our September series. In this series, we are talking about trust. And if you don't know what trust is being able to depend on someone, being able to rely on someone, and knowing that they'll be there for you. And of course, I want you guys to be able to trust some of the people in your life. I want you guys to be able to count on your mom and your dad and your friends and your teachers at school. But there is someone that you can trust even more than those people, and that is God. And that really is what our series is about. This month, we're going to hear lots of stories about how God was always there for the people when he said he would be. And because it is a new month, we also have a new memory verse. So our memory verse this month comes from the Old Testament. It's Proverbs 3:5, and this is what it says. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding." And because we have a new memory verse and a new month, I actually found a song that goes along with this memory verse. So we are going to stand up and sing the song and pay attention to the words because it might help you memorize the memory verse. lesson today is from the book of Genesis, which is the first book in the Bible, and we are still talking about Abraham this week. Today we're talking about how Abraham had to trust God because God not only told Abraham to move from place to place, but God also told Abraham that he was going to have lots of kids and he was going to have lots and lots and lots of descendants, which means grandkids and great grandkids. But here's the problem. Abraham was 90 years old, so pretty old, and he didn't have any kids yet. So he had to have some pretty big trust in God, pretty big faith to know that God was going to follow through with his promises. So let's learn more about Abraham and some of God's promises to Abraham.
The story before the story.
Today, we're in the very first book of the Old Testament, Genesis. God made our amazing world, but sin entered the world. People turned away from God and went their own way.
So God picked one man, a guy named Abraham. And even though Abraham was 90 years old and had no kids, God told him to look up. God promised Abraham he'd have more kids than stars in the sky.
Yeah, and the whole entire world will be blessed through Abraham's family.
But Abraham and his wife, Sarah, they waited for years and years, and they still didn't have kids.
Which is where our story starts.
We're ready.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian. It's amazing how all of creation can talk to us about God. You know, after God told Abraham that he and Sarah would have more kids than there are stars, I bet they went outside at night a lot more.
More children than all those stars? Are you sure that's what God said?
He promised. He said, we'll have a son.
God's promise was clear, but Abraham and Sarah spent years staring up at those stars, waiting and wondering. They were both old enough to be great-grandparents. Could they really have a brand new baby at their age? But at last, one day when Abraham was 99 years old, God met with him again. It was the very hottest part of the day, and Abraham was sitting in the shade of his tent when he saw 3 strangers approaching. Abraham knew right away they were visitors from heaven. He went to greet them and bowed low to show them honor.
My Lord, if you are pleased with me, don't pass me by. Let me get some water so you can wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you some food to give you strength, and then you can go on your way.
All right, do as you say.
Now, making a fancy meal back then was a lot more than just heating something up in the microwave. Abraham found Sarah in the tent and asked her to bake bread. And then he picked the best calf from his herd and asked a servant to prepare it.
Here is some stew and a fresh loaf. My wife makes the best bread in the whole land.
Where is your wife, Sarah?
Over there in the tent.
Now, you had better bet that Sarah was listening in on this conversation. I mean, here are 3 strangers out of nowhere who Abraham believes are from God. I mean, she definitely wanted to know what was up.
I will surely return to you about this time next year. Your wife, Sarah, will have a son.
Now? After all this time? I'm worn out, and my husband is old. Can I really know the joy of having a baby?
The Lord knew exactly what Sarah thought and said to Abraham,
Why did Sarah laugh? Is anything too hard for me? I will return to you at the appointed time next year. Sarah will have a son.
I didn't laugh.
Yes, you laughed.
Oof. Sarah seriously got called out there, but God wasn't angry with her. God was gracious to Sarah, and Sarah did become pregnant, and after some time, she gave birth to a baby boy.
God has given me laughter. Actually, everyone who hears about this is going to laugh along with us. I'm so old, but here I am taking care of a baby. What should we name him?
What about Isaac?
Of course. course, Isaac.
You're going to have a big family, little one.
As many as there are stars in the sky.
The end. So, do you know what the name Isaac means?
What?
One who laughs.
Well, that is spot on.
Can you imagine how it felt for Abraham and Sarah to wait all those years?
I have a hard time just waiting for the microwave popcorn to finish.
I know, right? Waiting can be hard. But here's the awesome thing. God is always trustworthy. God promised Abraham that the whole world would be blessed through his family. And it took hundreds of years, but the whole world was and is blessed because of one of Abraham's descendants. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, Jesus.
You got it. You can trust God all the time, especially when you're having to wait.
Thanks, Brian. So, what is our part in the story?
Well, maybe you're having to wait for a broken arm or a sprained ankle to heal. You can trust that God is still with you, and God still loves you, and you can ask for God for the patience to keep waiting.
I remember when I had to wait forever when my mom said she'd get me my phone. I guess I could have trusted God more instead of just asking her, can I have my phone yet? Can I have my phone yet? Can I have my phone yet? Can I have my phone yet?
Okay, yeah,
Can
we get it.
Sorry.
I actually had to trust God yesterday. My dad promised to play tennis with me after he got home from work, but then he had a video call that took over an hour. I had to trust God to give me a good attitude.
Yeah, you know, the truth is, we're gonna have to wait for things. Sometimes we'll have to wait on God. But even while you're waiting, you can trust that God is still there and that God still cares about you. Got it?
Got it.
Wait for it.
Remember that you can trust God no matter what. Even if trusting God seems kind of scary, even if trusting God requires a lot of patience, which Abraham sure had to have, because again, really old. But God will always follow through with his promises. And so we're going to learn in the next couple of weeks how God followed through with his promises to Abraham and why that means you can trust God too. So I can't wait to talk to you guys next week, and I'll see you later. Bye.